Hi, Diaz here. In today's video, we're going to show you how to set up the Roland A-PRO MIDI keyboard controller with the FA series workstation, where you can go in and control the individual parts of a studio set. All right, let's get started. So usually when we're working with the FA in a studio set and we're using a big layer or split, if we want to change the individual volumes of those parts, we need to go in and cursor over to the next part, and we can go ahead and change the level of that part with this knob right here. Now, if you integrate the A-PRO MIDI keyboard controller, you can go ahead and assign those parts. There's 16 parts total, but you can go ahead and assign, if you wanted to, all 16, but in this example, we're only going to do 8 to the sliders inside the A-PRO. So before we begin, I want to let you know that you can use any of the A-PRO keyboard controllers from Roland to do this. 300 Pro works, the A500 Pro, and the A800 Pro. So all of those 3 MIDI keyboard controllers will work in this process. So I'm using the A500 Pro in my example today, and what I'm doing first is I go USB out of my A-PRO into my computer. So first off, let me show you where I got this software. Begin by going to Roland.com. I'm going to go into the Products tab, go inside to Keyboards. Next, I'll go to Keyboard Controllers. And from here, you'll see the different A-PROs that are available. You can choose any one of these, and I'll choose A800 Pro. And now we're going to go to the Download section. And if you look over here, there's a lot of different drivers and updates. So what I am using today are the editors. So I'm using the editor right now for Mac OS X. So make sure you download the appropriate editor and drivers, and you're set to go with this process. So now I've opened up the software. I'm connected via USB with my A-PRO, and this is actually a pretty easy process. I don't even have to have the FA hooked up at this time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a brand new control map inside the A-PRO. So a control map has a lot of pre-designed controls for whatever you want to control. Inside the A-PROs, we have different pre-designed control maps for Ableton Live, for Logic, for GarageBand, for a whole host of different DAWs. But in this example, we're going to create a custom one and overwrite one of those pre-existing control maps. Now, if you wanted to save the control maps and you don't want to lose anything, you can go into the software and you can receive what's inside the A-PRO and save it on your computer and then call it up as needed. So I'm already set up. I'm going to title my custom control map, I'm going to call it FA Studio Set. So I have that there. And now I need to go in and I'll touch that first controller, which is S1. I can go ahead and name it. Let's name it MIDI Part 1. Great, and I'll go ahead and copy it. And now I'm going to go in and say channel message. And the type of message is a control change. And the control number for volume is number 7. And then I make sure it's on MIDI channel 1. Let's do another one. Once again, now I chose S2. I'll go ahead and put MIDI Part 2, control message, and control change. And now I make sure that it's also on MIDI channel 2. And then control number for volume is 7. So I have 7 in here. So as we do this, you're going to see me change the different MIDI numbers, because within a studio set, there are actually 16 MIDI parts. So we're going to go ahead and adjust MIDI parts 1 through 8. So let's do a couple more. So MIDI part 3, channel message, control change, control number for volume is 7. MIDI channel 3, great. Do another one. And you see it gets to be pretty easy. Once you have this set, you can go ahead and save this inside the A-PRO, but then also save a backup inside your computer. So we'll do another one real quick. We're almost done. It's not going to take too long at all. And the great thing is we'll get a lot more hands-on control with the different MIDI parts within our studio set. Okay, whoops. There we go. And MIDI part number 5. Great. We're just rolling right along. Great. And here we go. So don't be afraid to try this. This is not bad at all. It's actually kind of fun. Once you get, oops, almost messed up. Got to pay attention. I'm over here talking. So once you get it all set up, it's going to be a lot of fun for everybody that's out there gigging or just want to have more control of your keyboard. So that's something that's totally great. So MIDI part 7, channel message, and control change. And I bet you know it's 7 for volume right now. And we happen to be on MIDI channel 7. Great. And one more. And that's number 8. And here we go. Control change. MIDI channel 8. And here we go. So I have everything set up right now. Let's go ahead and save it inside the computer so we don't lose it, okay? So I'm going to go to my file. I'm going to press save. And I'm going to name this FA Studio Set. And we could go ahead and do volumes. Okay, that's fine. I'll save it to my desktop. And you'll see it's just a .MIDI file. It's nothing very big, so you can create a bunch of different ones for your control maps. So now, when I'm ready, I just press transmit, and oh, look, it says, do you want to overwrite a control map that's already there? Before we do that, let's take a look. I have a choice of 19 control maps. I can put it in any one of these that I want. So I'll go ahead and put it in number 1. That's fine for our example. And before I do anything, make sure my options, my MIDI devices, so we need to make sure that we have the input set up, input port as port 1, and then output is A-PRO. And I'll press OK, and now I can go ahead and press transmit and overwrite. We already talked about this. Yes, and it's going to overwrite control map 1. And there we go. It's transmitting inside into the A500 Pro that I'm using. And once that's done, I can go ahead and exit this, and I'll save what I did. And I'll take out the USB that's inside the A-PRO, and I already set up the FA for MIDI in. So we're going to go MIDI out of the A-PRO. And MIDI in into the FA. So let me just move the computer a little bit so you can see a little better. And there we go, we have some sound. And here we go, I'm going to go ahead and put it Studio Set, hit them both so I can see more. And let's just make sure it's on the correct control map. And I'll just use these 2 arrows right here. So user assign, MIDI channel, program change, and here we go, control map. Now it defaults to 0, but we can go ahead and set it to 1 and enter, just push. And look, did you see what it said? It said, I don't know if you can see it, it said FA Studio Set. Now that that's set, let's give it the test and let's move these sliders and see if they work. All right, so here we go, let's give it a shot. Oh, there's number 1, 2. So they're working. I'm going to go ahead and switch this to a mixer screen. So I'm going to switch this over into maybe a part view, if you can see a little bit better. There we go. And let's see if it still works so you can see. So there's number 1, 2. It's all working. And notice I didn't do anything to the FA. We just went ahead and programmed the A-PRO. Oh, I did something wrong in the A-PRO over here. Notice number 8 isn't working. But that's okay. You know, we can go back into the software and fix it. I can see what's going on, and we can totally fix it. So this is very easy. So if you happen to have an A300, an A500, an A800, or you're considering getting the controller, this is a great way to go because this is just a little bit of the control that you can have inside your A-PROs with the FAs. Stay tuned for the next video where I'm going to show you how to have multiple layers and splits separate on the FA being supplied to the A-PRO MIDI controllers from Roland. All right, you guys take care. I hope this helps, and we'll talk to you later.